Hi, I'm Jim, N4BFR, with the basics from the Hamtech library on submitting your field day log. Here's this great pullout from the ARRL in the June QST magazine that tells you all the bonus points you can get for field day. You've probably been following that along, and I definitely encourage you to submit your field day results because let's take credit. You're going to help yourself, and if you operated with a club or if you want to give your points to a club, you're going to be able to do that for them, as well as you're going to get 50 points just for submitting on the web. So there's a lot of good ways to do that, and let's walk through that now. So popping up the ARRL field day site, just do a quick Google search for field day results, and you'll get to this page, or go to the ARRL field day website. This introductory page tells you all about the different things you're going to need as you're submitting your entry, but we're just going to go ahead and dive in and just explain those as we go along. So the call used, let's say I operated as myself, so I'm N4BFR. I didn't have a go-to station, and I'm in Georgia, so we'll go ahead and pull down Georgia here. So if I was 1 Delta Georgia, there's my N4BFR, there's my Georgia. Number of participants is 1, and here's your number of stations in simultaneous operation. That's your 1. So 1 Delta, because here's the home station commercial power, Georgia, and your call sign. Those are the basics right there. Let's just recap here real quick. The number of transmitters in simultaneous operation, that was the 1 that you had in your 1 Delta Georgia. There's the D for Delta. There's your location for Georgia. So all those should match the exchange that you were giving as you were calling field day, calling CQ, or responding to field day calls. And obviously, you want to have that call used to be the same as well. So 1 Delta Georgia is what this submission is set to go in. Now, if I used a power source that was other than commercial mains, like let's say I used a generator, I can go ahead and click that as well. Power multiplier. This is how much RF power did you use when you were making contacts. Most stations are going to be 150 watts or less, so you go ahead and click that. If you had your amp up to 11, you'd click over 150 watts, and if you operated QRP, you would click there and get the 5x credit for making contacts as a QRP station. All right, then we get into bonus points, and bonus points are available for a variety of different things. I'm not going to get into all of them because we just want to cover the basics here, and as if you operated from home. So you probably didn't have media publicity. You probably didn't have a public information table. You may have sent a formal message to your ARRL section manager, in which case you would upload a copy of that here. You may have downloaded the W1AW field day message, and I really encourage that. So you would click here, and you would choose your file, and it would come up and ask you to submit from that. So don't need that at this point. Did I handle any formal messages? Probably didn't. Satellite QSO is automatically determined. You don't get satellite bonus points for operating 1D, just so you're aware. Did I do natural power QSOs? How many of those did I use? Probably didn't have a site visit if I operated from home. Probably didn't do an educational activity. Maybe if I had a son or daughter that came on, or niece or nephew that came and operated a couple of contacts, I might be able to do that. And we'll put let's say we did 2 of those. 1 youth participant made 2 contacts. You could put that. Submitted entry online. It automatically says, hey, you're submitting your entry online. So I'm going to go ahead and give you credit for that. And let's say you tweeted a picture of your station while you were going along the way. So social media, you can click that as well and take the credit for that. So those are getting in the bonus points. Then you want to go in, and this is where you're going to actually enter log detail. Now, the good news is you're not going to have to send a log with every single contact. You can if you want, but really what they're looking for is some basic information. So let's say you operated just on 20 meters for this, and you made 10 contacts on CW, and those were at 50 watts, and you made 5 contacts on digital, and those were at 20 watts, and you made 50 contacts on phone, and those were at 100 watts. You would put that in for each band, and that would be your entry. And it's just as straightforward as that. Now, this says up here you want to do a dupe sheet or a Cabrillo file. You definitely can do that if you want. And then go down to the go to bonus. Remember, we just did all this information here. It would be the same for a GOTA station if you were submitting that for your club. That's all the data you need after that. You go in and you make a certification that says, hey, I observed the rules and I did all the amateur radio things I'm supposed to do. You're going to put your name in here. This call is your call. So let's say I was coming in and I was submitting a log for KE4C, a club call. I would change this up at the top to be KE4C, but at the bottom, I would still use my call sign because this is, if there's any questions, they want to be able to get back to you. So you want to use your personal call here and your personal email address. When all that's done, you're going to go ahead and submit an entry, and let me show you what that looks like. So here's your entry, and here's what that looks like. Pretty straightforward. It just is recapping what was submitted through the field day log form. And once you've got all this done, you're done with field day. Now you can sit back and wait and see how many points you got compared to how many points the guy up the street got when they publish the results later this year. It's a lot of fun to watch for that as well and see how you did compared to everybody else. So thank you for playing along, and hope you really enjoyed this field day series. If you have any other questions on field day, look for the 3 other videos related to field day here in the HamTech library. That's how I submit my field day log. You may do it differently. Other ways may work, but that's the way that works for me. Thanks, and I hope you will like and subscribe and tell your friends about HamTech Library, and we'll see you next time.